Yo, what up guys, I'm Sammy and welcome back to the Soul Brothers channel, and this is my performance review of the Anta KT Splash 3. So if you guys didn't know, the KT Splash 2 or just the KT Splash line in general has been a very good bang for your buck shoe line because they give us good tech for a very good price. This shoe is only $100. So if you guys do want to cop, I'll leave a link in the description box and we'll see if the KT Splash 3 lives up to that hype. So let's get it started right off with the tracciones, and the traction pattern is pretty interesting. So here in the forefoot we got this blue solid rubber, and we got some circles and I guess a little bit of a pivot circle, and then around that we have a solid white outsole with very thick lines. So how is the traction? On a clean court you have a solid bite. I wouldn't say it's the best bite I've ever experienced, but it's a solid bite. You're gonna be good to go if you're playing on a clean court. If you're playing on a dusty setting, it does pick up a good amount of dust, but it is very easy to wipe off. So you just do like a wipe, and you just go 1, 2, and you're good to go. Oh my god, look at all that dust. I don't know if the camera picked that up, but you just do 1 or 2 wipes and you're good to go. Super easy, but like I said, you're gonna need a wipe pretty frequently. So if you're used to wiping and you don't mind that, you should be fine playing on a dusty court. Just make sure to not let too much dust pick up here on the outsole, or else you're gonna be sliding out a little bit, and so it can be a little bit dangerous. I wouldn't say it's terrible like the Jordan 31, but just be careful with that. As far as the durability goes, the durability, I mean, I didn't play on an outdoor court, so take this with a grain of salt, but this blue part, these lines are pretty thin, right? And I feel like it's pretty easy to move with my fingernail. So I think this blue part isn't going to be the best for durability, but this white part is super durable. So the overall outsole performance for me was really good. I didn't really mind playing with it. It was just a little annoying having to wipe pretty frequently. Alright, as far as the heel to toe transition goes, it's super smooth here in the shoe. So here in the heel we got a crazy curve shape, and also look at all of this exposed foam. And this foam is Ulti-Flash, which is super soft, so it feels really smooth and very comfortable here in the heel when you're kind of like doing heel dominant strides down the court. Here in the forefoot we have a very nice curve shape, as you guys can see, and look at this, a crazy amount of forefoot flex. Look at that. I would even say it's a little too much. So I did have a little bit of a problem when I was playing this, and it's not like, I'm not blaming the shoe, I'm not saying it's bad, but for me, I've been, I don't know, because I, test shoes, right? And a lot of shoes that I test, they have a lot, I mean, just like stiff soles, you know what I mean? And if you play in stiff soles, or just like wear shoes that have stiff soles and they have a lot of cushion and stuff like that, your feet get weak. You know what I mean? And that's why a lot of people, if you want to strengthen the tendons and your feet and your ankles and stuff like that, they wear like the finger shoes, like the Vibrams. So recently I've been having some problem with plantar fasciitis, and I feel like, just because of this shoe being so damn flexible, even though there is a midfoot shank plate, I did have some issues when I was playing a long time in the shoe, maybe like an hour and a half to 2 hours. I would definitely feel a lot of pain in my right arch. My left was fine. I guess I use my right foot a lot more when I ball. So just watch out for that. Obviously, if you have strong feet, you're not gonna have any issues with that. But if you're older, I guess, or getting old like me, and you have problems with your feet, you just watch out for that crazy flexible midsole. Like I said, it's not a bad thing. I feel like that actually is a good thing if you want to improve, I guess, the strength of your feet. But anyways, there's that. That's just something that I experienced personally. But when you're doing heel dominant strides down the court, it's a super smooth feeling shoe. Alright, moving on to the cushioning setup. So the cushioning setup is super nice as well. So they're using full length Ulti-Flash, and Ulti-Flash is actually a very nice foam. Anta uses it on their like premium models. They used it first in like the KT6, so they're giving it to us full length, fully exposed in the KT Splash 3 for $100, which is insane, right? So here in the forefoot, you're extremely low to the ground, and then here in the heel, you're kind of high up off the ground, so there definitely is a pretty high offset. There is a good amount of compression here in the heel, which feels very comfortable and very nice, especially for heel strikes, so you're gonna be good on impact protection. And then here in the forefoot, I definitely didn't like how low to the ground, I mean, I did like the feeling of how low to the ground it was, but then I feel like they made it a little too thin, because when I landed on my forefoot, it definitely did hurt, and it didn't feel too good when I was landing pretty hard. So just watch out for that. There is a nice little bounce here in the heel as well, especially when you're doing heel dominant strides down the court. So overall, it's a really comfortable cushioning setup. I just wish it was a little bit thicker here in the forefoot. Very responsive as well. You know, it didn't feel too soft or too laggy for me personally. So for this cushioning setup, I feel like most people would enjoy it. All right, moving on to the materials. So we have pretty much it's pretty much the same exact material as the KT6 Low, and I really like that material. It's kind of like a plastic screen mesh, and it is fused a good amount, you know, as you guys can see from these lines. It looks like it's heat pressed to give a little bit more durability and support, but look at how thin it is. It's just extremely thin. It conforms to your foot really well. It's also supportive. There's not a whole lot of stretch to the material either. So I really like how minimal it feels here in the forefoot. Also here in the midfoot, look at that. There is fuse here in the toe box on the medial side of the shoe to add durability. And then of course here in the midfoot area we have a strap. The strap is a very nice strap actually. So when you're tying up the shoe, it doesn't get in the way. You know, like in the Kyrie 6 where it would just like kind of keep wanting to close like this. You just leave it open like this, tie up your shoe, and then tighten it up. So it's super nice. And also it's not a one-way strap. It has kind of like a loop right here, so you can definitely crank down the strap and make the fit really, really tight here in the midfoot, which I really like. Also, it's super thin. Look at that. It's pretty much a see-through material, so it doesn't add a whole bunch of bulk to the shoe either. So I really like what they did here for the strap. One thing that I didn't like about the shoe is the laces though. I mean, the rope laces, the thick rope laces is, I guess, very premium. You know, it's a very nice touch. It's not like your standard laces, but you have, even when I double knotted this shoe, it would come undone. So I feel like it's just a little too thick. I don't know what it was, but that definitely was annoying. As far as the tongue goes, we have an average amount of padding, and it is a half booty construction tongue. And then here in the ankle area, I would say there's actually very minimal padding as well, besides here in the back of the heel where your Achilles is, where there is a good amount of foam, but on the sides it's actually very minimal. So this entire shoe, this entire upper feels really thin, very minimal. I like how it feels. So personally, I feel like it's very, very good. But if you want something a little bit more cozy, you know, a little bit thicker and stuff like that, this definitely is not the best option. Moving on to the fit, I went true to size and it fits my foot extremely well. So true to size, I was good to go. My toes pretty much go right to the edge of the shoe. Width-wise, it's also slightly narrow. And here in the toe box, it's quite snug. Not super snug like the Kyries or the KDs. I can still curl my toes up just a tiny bit, but it's still a nice snug fit for me. So I had no problems with the fit. Very, very nice. Also here in the heel, we have a very, very high heel tab. So it's super easy to put the shoe on. As far as the support and lockdown goes, support and lockdown, I really had no issues. So for lateral containment, as you guys can see, here in the forefoot, the foam doesn't come up that much, but as you guys can see, there is an underlaying material which does add for support. And then here in the midfoot, we got the strap, and also the foam comes up a lot. And then here in the heel, we have this part. It's a dual purpose system, I guess. So this plastic piece acts as a midfoot shank plate, and it also comes up acting as a sidewall here in the heel. And we have an internal TPU heel counter. So lateral containment, I was good. Lateral stability also was very good. As you guys can, there's not like an outrigger, but the midsole does protrude out like crazy. So this shoe is super wide, and like I said, the forefoot is super low to the ground. So I had no issues with lateral instability either. All right, moving on to the weight of the shoe. This shoe is 13.76 ounces. Let's check the left pair. 13.51 ounces. So yeah, this shoe definitely isn't super light. It's actually a little bit heavier than average for my size, but it actually doesn't feel that heavy. It feels a little bulky here in the heel, as you guys can see. I don't know why you would want to do this. Like, look at how much it protrudes out. Look at that. That's a little crazy, you know? But anyways, when I was playing it, I really didn't notice the weight. It actually feels super minimal for the upper, especially here like in the midfoot and also here in the forefoot. And the traction was good. The cushion felt responsive and all that. And my foot wasn't really moving around inside of the shoe or footbed. It had good lockdown. So when I was playing it, I felt very quick and also very responsive. So don't let the weight kind of like dissuade you from buying this shoe. If you want like a super minimal and responsive shoe, you're really not going to notice it all too much. All right, moving on to the ventilation, super good. If you guys couldn't guess, like through this material, there is a good amount of airflow. And like I keep saying, this material is super thin, so it doesn't really keep in heat. So the ventilation is pretty damn good in the KT Splash 3. As far as the aesthetics go, I don't like it. I wouldn't say hate, that's a strong word, but I dislike this heel part and also like this thing, this blue thing. it looks weird. It reminds me a lot of the BYW, you know, like the Adidas design language, which I'm not a huge fan of. So I feel like the 2 looks a lot better. So tell us what you guys think of the aesthetics down in the comment section below. So wrapping things up, the KT Splash 3, does it deliver? It definitely does. It's a banger, especially for $100. You're getting full length Ulti Flash. I mean, for $100, Nike's giving us full length Finelon. No zoom in, maybe a little 4-foot zoom in, you know? And then they're giving us shit mesh, you know? But in the KT Splash 3, they give us Ulti Flash. They give us this nice material that they also use in the KT 6 Low, which is kind of like their signature shoe line, right? So yeah, it's a great performer and you're getting it only for $100. As far as my recommendation for what type of playstyle, I would say if you're a guard and you want a very responsive shoe, then this is a great choice. I don't know if it's the best choice for bigger dudes though. I feel like you would want a little bit more support. Like for me, I didn't have any issues with the support, but with this material being this thin, especially here in the 4-foot, I just don't think it would offer as much support as you would need if you're like a bigger dude. So probably I wouldn't recommend it for like bigger guys, but if you're like a smaller guy and you rely on your quickness, then this probably is a good option. But anyways, that about wraps up this review. Again, if you guys do want to cop, I'll leave a link in the description box, but that's it. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.